Okay, so I tried a video post last week. It seemed to be a relatively, people interacted with it. I don't know if it was a hit or not, but it got viewed quite a few times, so I decided to do another video post. And there's a huge story, huge in terms of my own town. There's a big story going on in Hutchinson, Kansas right now. Hutchinson is the home of the Kansas State Fair, and the Kansas State Fair right now is being sued by PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, because of what PETA construes as a violation of their freedom of speech. And let me start with this. First of all, I'm a hunter and a meat eater, okay? So I definitely have issues with, or I differ in opinions with PETA in a couple of different scenarios. But I very much am a person that doesn't like animal abuse, and even looks at some of the things that PETA presents and realizes that there is a need for change in some of our processes. Okay, so I don't like PETA's tactics. I think they use dramatic, celebrity TMZ. I think they're kind of a paparazzi type mindset where the ends justifies the means, that they have no problem misrepresenting facts to get their point across. But I admire their passion. I admire how dedicated those people are to a cause, even if it's a cause that I disagree with. There's no doubt they're passionate, and there's no doubt that they will fight hard for their belief, and I admire that. I admire that in almost any American, any human being. But they're wrong here. This is not a freedom of speech issue. Their rights are not being violated. And here's the facts that you need to understand. The Kansas State Fair is treating them exactly like any other vendor and allowing them in, allowing them to spread the message that they're bringing. But the State Fair is maintaining their right to preserve its image, to protect the visitors to the fair from something that they feel needs to be presented in a protected environment. There's all kinds of rules. You can't do whatever you want at the state fair just because it's a government-owned piece of real estate. There can't be nudity. There can't be profane language. There can't be any number of things that the state fair reserves the right to deem appropriate. They're not saying PETA can't spread their message. They're just asking for PETA to present its message in a way, because of the dramatic nature of the video that they want to show. They're still allowing them to show the video, right? That's very important. They're not violating their right to present their message. They're just asking for it to be presented in a way that people that are walking across the aisle and don't want to hear the message don't have this graphic video imagery forced upon them. They want people to have to come up and see it behind a shield. They want people to see the PETA banner as you're walking through the hallways of the state fair, and then go over and see the message that they're being presented. It's no different than any other restriction they would put on any other vendor that had controversial subject matter. And it pisses me off when people abuse this freedom of speech mindset and bring in and rile people up that the state fair is trying to restrict their freedom of speech. They're not. They allowed them to come on. They allowed them to present this message and in a pretty cool manner, because a lot of the message is very contrary to an ag-based fair, right? The fair is being more open-minded than some might expect. And now they're getting all this negative publicity, and the ACLU is another organization that's very passionate but abuses its right to draw attention, abuses a perception of their rights, and over-dramatizes things like this to bring publicity to itself. And I wish that people that were passionate about, I wish that PETA would show up at the fair, continue to be passionate about their message, give their message whatever it is, but realize that there's rules for everyone, And just because they don't like the rules doesn't mean that they can go and scream it's a violation of their First Amendment rights. It's not. It's the state fair setting restrictions to protect its visitors from graphic imagery. If someone just came and had pictures of if a hunting outfit, a guide outfitter service came and they had big pictures or video of them skinning their animals, the state fair would still ask those to be in an environment that someone had to go and want to see those pictures, as opposed to putting those pictures on giant posters and plastering them all over. There's meat producers there. Those meat producers would not be allowed to show video of the production of meat and the slaughtering of animals. It's not an attack against PETA. It's a set of rules that PETA has to abide by as well. And now they're trying to blackmark the Kansas State Fair in a totally unjustified way. If you want to look into it more and see if the facts, I'm putting a few links below to the things, including the link to the video that the state fair wants to have shielded so that people have to go and see it. They'll be right below this video on my blog post on CodyTalks.com. I can't stand this kind of over dramatized paparazzi style publicity for a cause. It doesn't accomplish anything. It just makes those that are against you despise you more and less apt to listen to your message, because you're not approaching it in a civilized way, and you're making up rules violations that aren't even happening. So PETA, I praise your passion, but you're not accomplishing anything in Hutchinson, Kansas, other than making people that were already closed-minded towards you dig in their heels more. What's your guys' thoughts?